Hello and welcome with another cast of Phobos Starcraft. Welcome to another cast right here on this YouTube channel. A few days ago I did ask on Twitter to see if somebody had some good replays for me, and well, with keeping those channels open I did manage to get my hands on some very nice games. In this case we are going to have a PvT on the map Deadwing, so I'm hoping for some macro games, but I seriously have no idea what is happening. These games are not from a tournament, they are from ladder. So let's see what these players have to offer for us. Now the red Protoss spawning in the top right hand corner. He's playing on a barcode account, but I know for a fact that this is Theo. Theo has recently been picked up by Team EC Visualize. And I'm really happy to see him be picked up by such an amazing team. Wish him all the best of luck there, of course. But this red Protoss is going to face off against his Terran opponent, who has spawned in the bottom left hand corner. It's going to be the blue Terran player KRN.InZane from Team Carnage Esports. Now KRN.InZane, I did see him a few times before. He's a very skilled Terran player, so let's see what he is up to. On the map Deadwing, it is relatively easy to take your natural base and your third base after that with pretty much just one attacking point. Yes, there are a few rocks that can be taken out, like this one right there. It's going to be easy to take a fourth base in that situation. But you do have to be careful about these backdoor rocks that can also be used as an attacking avenue. But this is a very small choke to attack from. So you usually don't see that. Sometimes when players want to hide their fourth base a little bit, you see them take out these rocks right there and the rocks right here, so they can safely transfer the probes to another base in another quadrant on the map. But KRN.InZane for now is going to start off with a Reaper. He's already sending out that ECV ahead to see if something very funky is going down. So he's going to send that Reaper cross position immediately. Now on the other side of the map we do see a relatively standard opening. Theo did go for a wall off right there, so the Reaper will have limited mobility, and that is always very important to have in order to take that out very quickly. Now also Theo did opt to let that Zealot finish. It's going to mean that his Nexus is a little bit later, but a pretty safe opening to say the least. Now behind this he's going to get his Mothership Core, he's going to start his first Stalker, and of course he's going to start that Warp Kit research. But he did only open up with one gas geyser, so he cannot get every tech route at once. But he has to be careful not to let that Zealot take too much damage, because that Reaper is of course a lot faster than that Zealot, and he will slowly start picking away at it. So the Mothership Core will need to be called for the assistance. There we go, the Zealot does remain alive, did lose a lot of its health already. And now with the extra Stalker coming out, it's going to be a little bit harder for that Reaper to really get ahead. But he still has a little bit of time. But he's not on full health. So he's using that step up to get out of the base. And he will be able to scout another day. But pretty much this Reaper already saw actually exactly what he needed to see. He saw that there is an expansion down. And now he's going to move into that main base. If he commits behind that Nexus, he's going to lose that Reaper. But he might do so anyway. Note, the Reaper does survive once again with only 8 hit points remaining. Very nice micro right there, but he did not see the Stargate. This can be very tricky, because you of course want to see the tech with the Reaper, but usually Protosses have been very good at hiding that tech, and this Reaper for now is going to be pretty unhappy about that. He does have that very mean look on his face. He wants to get in there, wants to see the tech, and he wants to survive that, of course. But he has to make a choice. Once he moves in, that Reaper is not going to live for much longer. Now on the other side of the map, behind this KRN.InZane is getting his natural base up and running. He did go for 2 extra barracks at the front of his base, and he's getting his second gas guys, and of course that +1 attack upgrade is already being researched, so really indicative of going for something like a 10-minute push to at least force out some energy from that photon overcharge. Now the Reaper will move in once again. Little supply block for Theo right there, so another sentry was a little bit delayed, but now Stargate has been spotted Actually, that Reaper making it out alive even. Wow. That micro from ECV.Theo. Finding the holes and microing that Reaper past it. Already pretty amazing right there. But the Oracle is now out. But if it has been scouted, it is already a lot harder to get the damage done. ECV back at home already started 2 missile turrets. They are inside his mineral lines, and there are of course a few extra marines. 6 marines is the magic number you need to take out an Oracle. But there are 6 marines here. And there's a missile turret here, so this Oracle should not be doing a whole lot of damage. Moreover, there are not a whole lot of buildings in construction with exposed SEVs, so I don't think that he can get a whole lot done there either. Does pick off 3 marines right there, picks off 2 SEVs I do believe, but that Oracle is gonna go down. Let's just confirm it right there. 2 SEVs did die and 3 marines for that 1 Oracle. So a little bit of damage was done. A little bit of scouting too. He did see that the starport is only now starting production. And a very quick 3rd base has come down for Theo, which means that his Colossi are going to be a little bit later than you normally see. Also, no thermal lens, I do believe. No upgrades whatsoever. Just wants to get that economy out. And it's already going to be very hard to hold this against the amount of marines and the Marauder moving across the map. Wow, I'm sorry. My throat is just stuck a little bit. But let's get going. The Observer does spot this, but Theo's not going to be happy about that at all. Especially not because the fact that the Nexus did just finish up at that 3rd base. The Reaper did try to get some extra information right there, but it was finally picked off. And the Photon Overcharge will make sure that those Marines are not going to commit to killing off that Nexus. But let's see, he's still moving forward. He wants to see what he can pick off. He already forced out 1 Photon Overcharge. He wants to go for number 2, making sure that that Mothership core is completely empty of energy. Oh, he tried to commit to that Colossus, but you don't want to do that with just Marines. They might have that +1 attack upgrade, and they might have that stim pack upgrade, but still, Marines against the Colossus is not a good idea. Now, we do see the transition now from Theo. He's going into Phoenixes. He's already gotten a few out. It looks like he wants to go for the Colossus Phoenix composition, even getting the thermal lens and the +1 attack upgrade from his cybernetics core. But ECV is not going to stop here. He's sending more units across the map. He really wants to inflict some damage on Theo, and it's going to be very hard for Theo to move out anytime soon. But at least dropping has become pretty much impossible with the Phoenixes out. But another set of Marines and Marauder are moving forward. The Phoenixes will reveal themselves. Oh, one of the Colossi do get targeted down. Great force fields to avoid that from happening. And the Phoenixes are moving in, trying to take out those Medevacs. And even lifting out one of the Marauders, the big damage dealers, of course, against these Colossi. But so many Medevacs are in position right there. He has to get out of there, but the Phoenixes are a very fast unit. He does let him escape. And actually, those Medevacs are doubling back. There's not a whole lot of units in here. He still wants to get some damage done. But ECV has got his own 3rd base up. He's getting those extra starports even. He's going up to triple starport production. He can produce 6 Vikings at the same time, and that's exactly what you need against this composition of Theo. Also, a 2nd starport now going to be on the way. Some extra gateways in order to spend those minerals, because the gas is going to be the very tricky part to get. But on this setup, Phoenix Colossi, you're going to be able to take this 4th base relatively easy. But also now the Fleet Beacon will get added on, so you can continue upgrading. And you can go for that Anion Pulse Crystals, meaning that the Phoenixes do get a little bit more range. The Phoenix is still trying to make something happen. One getting very low on health, but it does remain alive for now. And looking at the resource loss stat, we do see that ECV has lost quite a bit more than Theo. But the game is not over by any means. Triple Viking production has started. 1 Viking currently out on the map. That is not going to be enough. So I hope that ECV is not looking to push out right now. He can just macro up back at home a little bit. Get that Viking count up. The most crucial part of this equation right now. And go for the attack once that count has skyrocketed. Now, one Zealot tried to take that Xel'Naga Watchtower. That is not going to happen. Still has to be very careful about that Phoenix count though. It is currently at 8. He has the opportunity to double produce them. Not going for it just yet. He's lacking a little bit of resource right there. But still, this army is starting to look pretty damn scary. 4 Colossi out, 8 Phoenixes out for the extra support. No drops are going to be possible because those Phoenixes will just intercept it. Even small hit squads like this. 2 Marines is the only anti-air that he has right there. So this does get picked off by the Observer, and the Phoenix can just fly in, take out all 3 of the medevacs and go for the rest of the units after that. And there's nothing here to defend against that. Picking off the Marines for the anti-air, and the medevacs will go down now too. Keeping that medevac count is going to make every stim for InZane pretty difficult. But slowly but steadily, the Viking count is going to be growing. A lot of Marines on the ground here too, to make sure that Theo cannot just engage into that. But let's see. InZane is finally getting that Viking count up pretty high. 12 Vikings against 10 Phoenixes. It's getting there. He did not produce any reactors on those starports. The Phoenixes are looking to fly in from the east, trying to pick off a few workers wherever he can. Of course, the Phoenixes will be the most mobile unit here, so they can just fly in, pick off what they can, and when the army of InZane is getting into position, he can get out of there without taking any damage whatsoever. But InZane is going to be maxed out very soon. He's pretty much at the 190 supply mark. Carriers on the production tab for Theo to mess with the AI a little bit. Also going for that 4th base. And a lot of photon cannons there. He is set up pretty nicely defensively. And also pylons are everywhere for some counter harassment. So let's see. We do see the move in from InZane coming down. All of the cannons do get cancelled. He cannot fight without the Colossi. The Colossi being covered by the Phoenixes, by the Vikings. The Vikings are focusing down on those Colossi though, and if the Colossi are down, the those Phoenixes are not going to do all that much. But the last Viking has fallen. There are still some bio units here. The 4th base has been cancelled, but 3 Colossi still going to be doing a lot of damage. And with this Phoenix count out, he can just go for the rest on those medevacs wherever they go. Now at least the Marines are unloaded, making sure that those Phoenix cannot just YOLO in there and get the kill right there. Theo is going to chase this down. He has to be careful not to overextend, but 3-3 is going to be on the way. The upgrades for Theo are going to be quite a bit less. He's at +2 and no armor upgrades right now. And the last medevac finally will fall. The amount of proxy pylons for Theo is just insane right now. That was not on purpose, by the way. But the carrier count is going to grow. He is at 2 currently. He's going up to 4 right now with the next 2 finishing up. Also, the Dark Shrine is going to be finishing up, and that attack path between the natural and the 3rd is going to be cleaned up so he can go for a 5th base. Because even though his economy is pretty healthy right now, your main base is going to get very low. He's going to need to transfer those. Also, those gas guys are going to mine out pretty quickly in this composition. But InZane has been able to rebuild his army a little bit now. Looking at the Viking count, he is at 11 Vikings. I don't think that is quite enough, especially with the carriers that are currently out. Actually, did he also go for that Graviton Catapult? Yes, he did go for both the upgrades from the Fleet Beacon, the Anion Pulse Crystals and the Graviton Catapult. So very nice setup. You don't see carriers a whole lot in a PvT, but once you see them, it's always a treat. Normally you don't actually see them. You see the Tempest being mixed in to siege up your Terran opponent just a little bit to force engagements where the Terran does not really want to fight, and of course the extra range for the boosted away medevacs. But now both players will be maxing out. Storm is about to be done, and with Storm ready, Theo's gonna have a very nice setup defensively and also offensively. Those Vikings, yes, they have very nice health, but at 125, if they catch two full storms, they're gonna die before you know it. And then we didn't even talk about the Phoenix that are currently out. Still 7 Phoenixes. He did not decide to rebuild them. But let's see. It's going to be a little bit passive right now. Theo is just staying defensive, not wanting to attack at all. InZane has been attacking so far, and that has not paid off very well for him. Looking at the resources lost, 10,674 resources lost for InZane, while there are only 6,636 resources lost for Theo. So definitely a big difference right there. Extra missile turrets being built back at home inside those bases. InZane wanting to move forward once again. There are ghosts now in this composition, peeling off the shield from all these Protoss armies, from this entire Protoss army. Great EMPs have landed. The storms are going to go down, however. The Vikings are still remaining alive, but the storms are huge here. The Viking count still present, but there is no ground army to support this. Another carrier does get picked off. There's no anti-air whatsoever. So, oh, nice time warp. Trapping a few of those bio units. Ghosts will be affected by that, of course. Looking at the resource loss right now, that was a pretty decent fight, but the trade was relatively equal. Now, InZane it did even up the score a little bit, but the economy for Theo also pretty good with that 5th base already up. Now normally you do see Terrans expanding a little bit faster than Protosses, but not in this scenario. This composition of Theo is so insanely good defensively. And InZane has been trying to break it, but he has not been able to do it so far. Now that Templar will start working on those back rocks, InZane will have vision of this. He will see that the health is going to get lower and lower. He might even be able to hear it. Yeah, he is going to be able to hear it. And one scan, one missile turret will shut this down completely. But what do we see Theo remax on? 2 more carriers at the time. He's going for the +3 attack upgrade for those air units. And also 1 Colossus at a time. Blink is being researched and the shield upgrades are going to come through. Those are going to help the Archons quite a bit. But with the amount of ghosts out already, it's still going to get very tricky. Now 1 Marauder will make sure that the Dark Templar is going to go away. And we will recharge his shields and then he will bust through that rocks. Also Zealot is running by at that 5th base, but the Planetary Fortress is now just finishing up. And that Zealot did get 2 kills right there, but that is all that she wrote. Then once again maxed out, scans are gonna go down everywhere. And will this push do it? Looking at the unit tab, 16 Vikings against 4 carriers. Well, he's gonna win the air battle, but these photon cannons are gonna be pretty annoying to deal with. Also, the amount of storms, the amount of Archons here is just insane. So he can go for mass EMPs on it. He has a lot of energy on those ghosts. He wants to push at the 5th base. They're just pylons everywhere. He's gonna move through that choke though. No Phoenixes on the map. Carriers not the best units against this amount of Vikings, and they are at +2. +3 attack upgrade has started, but it's nowhere near close to finishing. But the +3 attack upgrade for those carriers are of course done. Now both players are gonna be maxed out. The 5th base still up and running. InZane does not want to push into that just yet. I might even say that his Viking count is pretty healthy at this point. It is at a good count because there are also of course those Colossi that he needs to deal with. But the storms, if they land, it's gonna be so powerful. Beautiful storms do in fact land. The Colossi just doing so much damage. The Vikings will be focusing on the Colossi before anything else, but they do get obliterated. Those storms were just amazing. And the ground army, just a few of those Marauders will try and stimwalk out of there. Very low on health. But the Dark Templar is here to intercept them. Wow, he's going to get a few extra kills right there. 2 Marauders being taken out by that 1 Dark Templar with the 2 swipes that he did manage to get off. Now here we see the War Prism with the Storm Drop on the mineral line. InZane is gonna lose a few workers there. Not the worst trade ever. Workers kill tab still pretty much equal for both these players. 8 workers lost. And Archon even being morphed here. He does not, well, of course, the missile turrets did take out that War Prism. So the only thing that he could do with those High Templars was morph it into an Archon, trying to get some extra damage done. And he was working on that Planetary Fortress quite a bit. But is it really true Do we see a Protoss move out? It seems to be true. 5 carriers, a bunch of Zealots gonna go for the move out. Of course, these rocks have already been cleared out by the Dark Templar. Now the Zealots are gonna help out a little bit too. Theo has a significant supply lead. That last engagement with those storms was just so good for him. But the Zealots have been pulled back. He cannot push into that army. He's just going to sacrifice those Zealots if that was the case. But these are a lot of Marauders. Marauders are not going to cut it against Zealots in high numbers. Those Marauders, of course, only doing like 10 damage a shot. They do have 3-3, so he does have that going for him. But still, Theo has such a huge supply lead. And what does he really have to do against these 5 carriers? Vikings are going to be very nice. He has a few of them. He has 5 out right now. And he has those missile turrets that are going up everywhere. But he needs more. He's going into battle cruisers. 5 battle cruisers at the same time to deal with the carriers. Love that decision. But they are going to take a long time to build. Tech Lab after Tech Lab is gonna get focused down. Well, he will save this one. But now Theo's gonna be at the front door. Carriers will start moving forward. The battle crews are not out just yet, and storms will help zoning against this bio army. Now even the 6th base is up for InZane. He did turn it into an orbital command. He did not float it over from another location. But he does mine from that location now quite a bit. Supplies are even once again. InZane has been able to catch up once again. And one Stalker being very annoying right there. 2 of them trying to get the damage done. Oh, one is trying to run away, save his life. The Zealots are here to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. But they're on move command. Very unfortunate right there. 3 of them will survive. They will charge forward into this one Marauder. They might survive, but now we do see Theo moving forward. The army, a lot of army from InZane is out of position. The battlecruisers are here. There are the feedbacks dealing a lot of damage to those battlecruisers. The 2nd battlecruiser even is going to go down. The Yamato cannon not being used. Of course, there is no energy for that either. And storm after storm is landing. The power of Protoss has shown itself. And once again, Theo takes a very decisive battle against his opponent InZane. The Vikings one by one are gonna go down. No answer against these 3 carriers that are still alive. There are 4 more battle crews in production. There are 5 Vikings in production, but there are now Stalkers on the ground that are gonna supporting those carriers quite a bit. Blinking underneath those battle crews gonna be huge right there. And he's on top of the production. He's on top of those starports, excuse me. And he is taking out these units one by one. And there's the GG. Theo manages to close it out, getting InZane to his knees. But InZane put up a very good fight right there. And switching into the air with the battlecruisers. I really like that decision. But he just needed a little bit more time to do so. But in the end, Theo, the barcode player, was victorious with playing it very thoroughly, I do have to say. But it did work out for him. InZane was not able to break him, and he does take the victory with that counter attack. Thank you all for watching. If you liked the cast, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. And I hope to see you very soon again on Phobos Starcraft. So, see you soon.